Good morning. Here's time now for a man who was no slouch in his own right when he was in the ring years ago, Dwayne Flagel. What he is fighting is hearing loss and has been doing so very well. How many moons have gone across the sky since you've been doing this?
Quite a few. It was in the late 90s.
Okay.
You know, I used to be in a different profession, but then the big word then was downsized, which means you're fired.
Yeah, well, we know all about that. So, do you have any idea how many people you've helped since you first started doing this?
Well, our database is many thousands in seven figures, well into seven figures. So we've done a lot of good things. And over the period of time, what I've been able to do is it's very rewarding. Every one of them is actually very rewarding when you see people being able to hear that they haven't heard for a long time. And I thought maybe today I'd talk just a little bit about some of those people rather than, because we're getting into the Christmas season, I don't really need to keep beating on people all the time, but just to say other than, most of these people I'm going to talk about are actually part of the gift of hearing, and which we are doing right now. Now you announce those winners on Wednesdays, is that correct? Van and Bonnie mentioned those? Right, Van and Bonnie mentioned those on Wednesday here in Des Moines area, and then we also are in the Quad Cities and WMT. So there's 12 people that will hear.
That is awesome.
But so we do that every year, and it's a lot of fun, and we get a lot of response back from those people about how it's changed their lives and things like that. And so over the year, I've got numbers of stories, but I got 4 that I'm thinking about that kind of, stick out in my mind.
Right. Which ones?
Well, all right, and 2 of them are kind of funny, and 2 of them are a little heart-grabbing. The funniest one in my mind is the guy from Ottumwa, who was an old farmer type, came in and wanted a pair of hearing aids. A real grumpy kind of looking guy, real seedy, and anyway, he said, all right, so I put him on him, and he said, well, I'm not paying for these until I try them out. Okay, so he said, I'll be back next week. So the next week he comes back, and he's really looking worse. I mean, I thought I had no idea what was wrong. And he looks me straight in the eye, and he says, I think $30,000 is a lot to pay for a pair of hearing aids.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know you had Cadillac brand.
Yeah, and it's kind of what I said. Did I say something wrong? Did he misunderstand me or what? I says, well, so do I. How do you figure that? He says, my wife says that pickup wasn't safe to drive, and I bought a new pickup on the way home. so that was a good one. And then one of the other ones that I like is a gentleman came back after he had tried them, and he said, I just about went nuts with these. And I said, well, I got them too loud or what? He says, no. He says, there's this noise. He says, I kept hearing it and hearing it. I couldn't figure out what it was. And he said, I asked my wife, and she couldn't hear anything different. And finally figured out his shoestrings were dragging on the floor. And
he could hear that.
And he could hear that. He had never heard that before.
But those are some good hearing aids. If you can hear shoestrings dragging on the floor, I might need some of those.
Right. And then a couple of the more heart-grabbing ones is I had a young couple with, I'd say he was in his 30s, something like that. Anyway, and the couple's there, and they have a little baby. And of course, the wife's holding the baby, and we fit him with the hearing aids, and he's got them on, and he's looking around like that. And he suddenly keeps looking over at the baby. And they look back, and I'm talking to him. He looks back at the baby, and the baby's just cooing away there. And he says, she always do that? He had never heard that. Or he never heard his baby do that.
That's amazing.
That was kind of a tough one right there.
Yeah.
Is it normal that someone in their 30s would need hearing like that? It can happen at any age?
Happen at any age. I got mine when I was 38.
Really?
So you actually start losing your hearing in your 30s.
Didn't realize that.
But usually not real rapidly.
Right. But everyone's a little bit different.
But that's kind of it. They say when you're born you can hear from like 20 cycles to 20,000 cycles.
Right.
You get to be 40, you're lucky if you can hear from 200 to, 8,000. So I mean, it shrinks.
The pattern shrinks.
Right. The pattern shrinks a lot. And then I think my most touching one I love is happened a few years back, and we had a grandparent come in, and of course he and I are talking grandchildren and all that sort of stuff. And then he gets real sullen, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe we had a tragedy or something like that. And I said, well, you know, what's going on? He says, well, that's why I'm here. And I said, excuse me? He said, well, about 2 weeks ago, he says, my little granddaughter Olivia, he says, crawled up on my lap and says, Grandpa, do you know they have things you can put in your ears so you could hear me?
Yeah.
I thought, ooh.
There's a sign right there.
Right. So I said to him, I said, so what took you so long? He says, I couldn't get in any quicker. So, but
wow. So what kind of toy did you buy Olivia? Is my question, Dwayne. Anyone she wanted.
Yeah, that's right. Anything she wanted. So anyway, so that's, you know, I think kind of just saying that is gives you an idea if you can relate to any of those things. That might be one of the reasons why you might want to think about getting a hearing test, getting your hearing checked, because it really does affect your life. It's really the quality of life issue. I mean, you know, we talk about all the other things as the dementia and all that, but really let's look at it from a positive standpoint. You really, really can improve your life and the lives of the people around you.
A marked difference.
Yes, it is.
There you go. So a bunch of different locations to find your stores. You have them all over the place.
We have them all over Iowa. Yeah, 17 locations and 5 service centers, and I don't know, it all adds up.
You name it, they are close to you wherever you're located. IowaHearing.com to check that out, and then just give them a call in case you want to get some more information on these. Buddy, good to see you again, my friend.
Good to see you.
All right,
see
buddy.
you again next week.
See you.